Okay, you guys, for today, for our Giacometti sculpture, we're going to start by making the armature. You'll notice in your bag you have some wire, and you have a piece of wood. You have some of these small nails, U-shaped nails, and then you're going to need a few things. Now, you may not need wire cutters. I just have them here. If you have a lot of wire, you may want to cut some off. If not, you can use the whole thing of wire. You don't have to have wire cutters. And then you're going to have a hammer or some kind of something to hammer these little nails in. And so it may not have to be a hammer. You could probably use something else, but a hammer obviously is going to be the easiest thing to do. I mean, you could use a brick or another tool, but a hammer probably would be best. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start creating the armature. And if you remember from the Giacometti questions, what Giacometti's work looks like, and you'll know that his work is like really skinny figures, tall, elongated arms and legs, kind of big feet, but very lean and tall figures. They're usually in a walking or a standing position, and so that's how we're going to do ours also. So the first thing you want to do is when you start this is you want to start by, I like to start by making the foot. So I just bend the wire with my hands. Again, you don't need wire cutters for this, and I kind of make like a foot. Now remember, I want to make really tall, long legs, so I'm going to come up here and make a really long leg, and I'm going to come right back down right here to the bottom, and I'm going to make my other foot. And it's easy to bend this with your hands. It gets you kind of dirty, but that's part of working with sculptures, is you're going to get a little bit dirty, and that's okay. So what I've done is I bent the foot. You can kind of see it right here. And I've got the leg and the other leg, and these are really long legs. Now what I want to do is I want to really strengthen these legs, so I'm going to use this wire and double up this wire and maybe even triple this wire up, because I'll have plenty of wire, and I want to just kind of wrap it around the body here and bring it on up. Okay, so I've doubled that wire up right there, wrapped it around kind of tight, and brought it up to the top, so you can see the legs there, and then you can see the body. Now I want to keep the torso kind of short, so don't go really long on the torso. It goes pretty short, and then I want you to make the arms. Remember, in Giacometti's work, the arms are kind of long, and so we're going to get really long arms. And so I'm bending it, and I'm going to come over here and get the other arm. Now if I want, I can start wrapping this around a little bit, and that would be perfectly fine. Might help strengthen it some. And I'm going to get my other arm. Just going to bend this around, and again, you don't need pliers for this. You can do this with your hands. It's not too hard to do. Okay, although sometimes this wire can get a little bit crazy to bend around. You have to kind of control it. It doesn't want to be controlled. Okay, so I've got my legs and my two arms and my short torso right here, and I'm going to go up and just make a neck and a head. And I'm not going to use a ton of wire on this because this is just the armature. I can fill this in later. So I'm going to make a neck and then come up and make a head. Okay, remember to make a neck. Some people forget that, and they just put the head right on top of the arms. And so you don't want to do that. You want to have a head here and a neck. Okay, we don't want a really long, gawky neck, but a neck nonetheless. Okay, so I've got a lot of wire left here, and I can start using this to strengthen up my sculpture. So I've got 2 wires on the arms, only 1 on the torso here and 1 on the legs. So I'm going to go back and try to strengthen my legs. Now remember, the legs are going to carry the weight of this sculpture. So we want to make sure that as we build up the legs, we make them strong. So that's what an armature does. It's the framework for a sculpture. It's the skeleton. And so we want to make sure that it's nice and strong. And so we want to use a little bit more wire on that part than on the other parts. So again, I've got the head and the body here. Notice my sculpture is about 10, 12 inches tall. I'm not making it really tall, but I'm not really making it really tiny. So I'm making it about 10 to 12 inches tall. I'm trying to wrap this wire really tightly around it. And I want to make the legs nice and strong. So this leg here, I've got 3 wires. And then this one here, I'm going to have 4 wires because I'm going to bring it down here and bring it around and then bring it back up again. So I got 4 wires. Now feel free to use all the wire that you have. If you have a lot of wire, you can use it to strengthen this up. I mean, you may not need it. You may not need all this wire, and that's okay. You don't have to use that. You don't need it. You don't have to. But if you don't have wire cutters and there's no way you could cut this, then maybe you ought to just try to use all the wire. And strengthen up the arms, the torso, the leg. The stronger it is, the better. So, and again, I'm just wrapping it around tightly. I'm going to add to the torso now. And then if I want to come out and add to the arms, I can do that. And I've got some wire left. I can go hit the other arm really quickly. And then if I have some more, I'm going to go down the torso and strengthen that up. And that way I've used all my wire. Again, you don't have to use all your wire, but if you have it and don't have wire cutters, then just use it. And so I've got a little bit left. I'm going to come back down and add to the torso. And so I've got pretty solid arms. I got a pretty solid torso. My legs got 4 wires here. I've got 3 wires there. I can add to this leg because then I would have 4 each. And I'm just wrapping it around, strengthening it up, going back around the foot, and then any I have left over, I'll just head back up the leg a little bit, and I've got it. Okay. So now I have this guy here that has long legs, long arms, short torso, a neck, and a head. Okay, and this is the armature for my sculpture. Now what I want to do is I want to start thinking about what is my pose going to be for this guy, and start kind of generally figuring out how I want to pose him. And I can bend him and to pose him. And so I can bend the arms and I can bend the legs, but I'm going to have this guy walking. This is going to be my walking man. And I want to have him walking. So I want to bend him in such a way that he can walk. And I'm thinking that I'm going to go across my wood block just like this, where he's walking. And I've got these little nails here, and I can use these to hammer this right down. Now I gave you a couple of these so you have some extras, but if all goes wrong, nail this other one down. I know some of these are really hard to nail in, but just do the best you can. another one just for strength. See if I can get it right in here. Okay. You know, his body up here, and it's a little bit weird right now. So I got him right here, and he's kind of leaning forward. I want him walking, so I might have to pose him a little bit here. And obviously I want his head facing forward, and then his arms, and he has really straight legs, so we want to keep those legs kind of straight. I got his shoulders here, a little bit of a neck, and if you want to pose him and you have wire cutters, you can also use the wire cutters or pliers to help pose the guy. So don't feel like you can't use them. You can use them if you want to. If you have them and you want to use them, that's fine. So I could use pliers or wire cutters to help, you know, get this guy situated here, and just walking. So I'm starting it to get the armature right there. And here's the block, keeping it nice and strong. You don't have to have a thick block like this. Some of you guys, I give a thinner block and it doesn't really matter. But I'm trying to pose the guy so that I can get some kind of somewhat realistic walking. And I'm a little bit worried the shoulders might be a little bit wide. If I had a little bit of wire down from here, it might work out, but I might take my wire cutters and try to bend those down a little bit more and make the shoulders less wide. And again, you might be able to do it with your hands. It might take some wire cutters to do these. And so I'm trying just to get that into place a little bit. Moving his head so it's more in the center. Maybe I can move his arm back here, and I can pose him however I want. Maybe I just want his arm to be down, this one be up, this one be down a little bit, and you can try some different poses and see what looks best for you. Okay, and that's how to get the armature built. Just like that, and it's nailed on there. It's pretty solid. Again, you can go back with pliers or wire cutters and touch this up a little bit if you have them. If you don't have them, just do the best you can with your hands. And then we will be ready to add some substance to this the next time we work on this. So we're going to add some mass to this. So it's really skinny right now, but we're going to add some mass to it the next time. Okay, that's all for today on the video, and for you guys in class, I'll talk to you here in a minute.